Hello everyone. Alright, so I'm making this video today to kind of demonstrate some things about the way that the mechanics of spaceflight work in Star Citizen and kind of dispel some misconceptions. One of the biggest misconceptions I see is people incorrectly associating yaw with lateral G's. Although during the way people normally fly, yes, it is common to get lateral G's when yawing, but it's not they aren't necessarily linked. Like you can have lateral G's without yawing, and you can yaw without producing lateral G's, and it doesn't matter what mode you're in. There's still a way to do it, and that's because it's space flight, so rotation does not equate to translational acceleration. Okay, so I'll show you first the most obvious, and I think the one everybody probably already knows is, let's say I get up to speed and I decouple, right? And then I can yaw, and I'm not doing any acceleration here. I'm not producing any G-forces. I'm just rotating. So it doesn't matter if I yaw, pitch, whatever. I'm not pulling lateral G's, not pulling vertical G's. I roll, nothing's happening. It's not at all tied in decoupled mode in any way. It can be if you do it in a certain way near the speed limit, but yes, so there you go. That should be obvious. Okay, so then everybody's like, well, in coupled mode it makes it so that, and I'll show you real quick what they're talking about. So if I go to full throttle and I'm not doing any other strafes or anything, and I'm in coupled mode now, and I'll even disable G-safe, and so then I do this yawing motion. You see the TVI keeping up with the nose. That means that my ship is accelerating in the direction that my nose is, toward the direction that my nose is pointed, and I'm producing lateral G's right now just by yawing and with my forward throttle inputs. Those two combined produce lateral G's. But that's not necessarily always going to be the case in coupled. Okay, you can yaw without producing lateral G's. I'll show you an example. So well, first I'll kind of just talk about something real quick having to do with that, since I think that's what everybody is talking about and probably the most interesting to everybody. So if your opinion is that a ship should rotate slower in order to avoid the pilot experiencing lateral G's, that's actually backwards, and I'll show you why. Okay, so first let me show you a normal, like what we just did, right? So yes, you're producing a bunch of lateral G's here, and you can see I'm yawing very slowly. But in a dogfight, people don't yaw that slowly. They yaw really quickly, right? Because they can right now. So I'm going to just do it real quick. I'm going to go 180, right? So that's them yawing, right? And so when I did that quick yaw, I was actually doing mostly longitudinal G's, which are eyes in, which means my main engines. In fact, the faster I do any rotation, doesn't matter if it's pitch or roll or yaw or whatever, the less of my maneuvering thrusters I'm going to use, and the more of my main engine I'm going to use to produce that commanded acceleration. So it's really incorrect to say, oh, I want to limit yaw in order to limit lateral G's on the pilot, because that's unrealistic. Because as you can see, you're going to produce more lateral G's by yawing slowly than if you were able to just yaw really quickly like you can now. So I'll go ahead and go to boost mode with afterburner G-safe off, and I'll show you. You'll start to see the screen start to get blurry and all that when I do it really slow, right? That's me approaching goat faint right there. Okay, I won't do it, but that was what was coming next. But if I just do it really quickly, 180 degrees, basically I just didn't pull as many lateral G's, and I didn't do it for as long because my main engines did most of the work. So yeah, like I said, lowering the yaw rate to lower the lateral G's is backwards. That's not at all what's going to happen. It's going to make it worse. Okay, so now I'm going to show you some ways to pull lateral G's without really yawing at all. Actually, sorry. First I'll show you that you can yaw in coupled mode with the throttle, or with a speed on, not just obviously like if you don't have any speed on, you know, you can yaw, and I'm not doing any lateral G's here, I'm just rotating. But even with speed on, you can yaw without producing much, if any, lateral G's. So this is called a whifferdill. So let's see my TBI pointed at that rock. I'm going to try to keep it there as I yaw. And this is harder when I, you know, this is kind of a fun little thing. So you see how I'm mostly moving in a straight line? And I just use strafe to do that, basically. So there was a little bit of lateral G's there, but if you do it perfectly, you won't pull any lateral G's. You'll just keep going in the direction. Let me try to find something farther away so that doesn't mess it up. How about that rock? So something that's not hard to see because of the planet. Okay, so I'm going to do a whifferdill. And oddly enough, the faster you do it, like I said, the less lateral G's you'll pull. Where was that rock? Damn it, I lost it. Oh, there it is. So, yeah, you can, by adjusting your strafe as you yaw, you can yaw without producing lateral G's. And that might seem like a random, like, oh, no, that's never, almost never going to happen. But that's actually a very common maneuver when dogfighting. So let's say that rock is the bad guy. I'm going to start adding in straight, like he's moving like kind of this way. So as I track him with my nose, I'm going to add in strafe, right? So this way I'm kind of following him. And this is how you get some of those kind of 6 degrees of freedom maneuvers without actually needing to go into decoupled mode. So I'm following with my nose, but I'm keeping myself from producing too many lateral G's. All right, anyway. All right, so now I'm going to show you how you can get lateral G's without yawing. So that's pretty easy to do. So here, let me make sure there's nothing above me. Kind of go this way so it's easier to see. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to strafe up. Okay, I'm going to hit afterburner. All right, and now I'm going to just roll. So I'm not even pitching or yawing right now. I'm just rolling. I think I did get some vertical G's there. Yeah. All right, hang on. I messed that up. I over-rotated my vector a little bit too much. I mean, that just goes to show you, like, if you associate pitch with vertical G's, I can show you you don't have to pitch to get vertical G's. But I'll do the concept with lateral. So let's go up like this. This time I'll try it without boost. So now I'm just kind of keeping an eye on where my TVI is. And then I'm just rotating. Hopefully I don't hit something. So I'm not pitching or yawing. I'm just rotating. And I've got a set strafe in.
User in your channel timed out.
And it's vertical strafe, not lateral strafe. I think it's obvious that you need boost to laterally... Well, no. I thought you needed boost to laterally over Gia Saber. But I'm getting pretty close here. Let's just say it's very difficult to goat feint in a Saber without boost. So I'm just going to go ahead and add it. Oh, no, there it goes. That was the goat feint. So like I said, all I was doing there was I was strafing upwards and rolling very slowly. So that just goes to show you. That said, like, I wouldn't mind goat feint being a little easier to do, but if they did that, they really need to give a better indication of which way it's happening and, you know, that kind of thing. So, like, my suggestion would be the character's head tilts in the way that it would tilt under high lateral G's. So that way you know which way to go to stop it. But that's kind of a separate issue. So yeah, so you can get lateral G's without yawing, and you can yaw without producing lateral G's. And if you're talking, like I said in the first example, if you're talking about, oh, I'm at full throttle and all I do is yaw, it actually produces more lateral G's to yaw slowly than it does to yaw quickly, right? So if they went the Elite Dangerous route and limited yaw to about this fast, which is still pretty fast, you know, but you would be experiencing more lateral G's than if they just left it as like it is now, where, you know, it's pretty damn quick. So there you go. I'll show you one more thing. So this is an example of how you can experience vertical G's without pitching at all. Just kind of the other side of it. This one's a lot easier to do because the blackout limit is much lower than the goat faint limit. So you can see here, and you don't even need to accelerate to put in that skid. All you do is rotate and then combine it with an outward strafe movement. So you can see my TVI on the left side. So sometimes it helps when trying to understand this stuff if you think of your ship as being on that TVI rather than where you are now. So just think of it, you're looking at the tail feathers right now. That's what the little triangle is. Actually, that might be confusing. We're looking at the back of your ship, and it's right on the TVI. So if I roll like this, the TVI moves up against the background, and that means you're actually pulling vertical G's. Yeah, I know that's crazy, right? Same thing if I'm like doing one of these, right? Vertically skidded, vertical skid. So if I roll like this, now my ship is actually doing lateral G's. Yeah, that's weird, right? So like think of yourself as on the TVI. Anyway, so I'll show you. We're on the TVI, right? And it's going to move against, damn it. It's going to move against the background, right? So I'm just going to get this skid in, and then I'm going to hit my boost and my afterburner, and then I'm going to roll. And then you see how it's moving upward against the background, which means I'm producing vertical G's. And you're going to see that with just roll and left strafe, I can get a blackout, which most people associate with vertical, with pitch and vertical strafe, right? But no, all I used there was roll and lateral strafe. So there you go. That's just the way physics work. Yeah, I know it's like kind of complicated and not intuitive and not at all what happens on planet Earth, but that's just the way it works. And I really do think that visualizing yourself on the TVI helps with that. So any questions, please let me know.